Hey everybody, it's Rebecca with the Santosha Way, and today we are talking about Aries season, the Aries new moon, and the astrological start of the new year. Y'all, this is a big deal. I don't know about you. I woke up, I felt the energetic shift in the air. I feel this at Aries season, Gemini season, Leo, and Sagittarius season the most, I think, is when I really feel that shift of energy because we go from a slower energy into faster energies when we make these transitions. So this is one that I typically feel pretty strongly when we hit the Aries ingress and we move into this astrological start of the new year. It is our rebirth. It is spring. For anyone who started out the new year with some resolutions, if you've fallen off the wagon or anything like that, not to worry, because in astrology, we consider this the real true start of the new year. This is when you plant your seeds of intention. So go ahead and get back out there and get started. Get back going on those things if you've fallen behind. Nothing is ever really out of time and place anyway. So, Aries New Moon. The Aries New Moon is happening March 21st at 0 degrees Aries. Guys, this is like our fourth or fifth new moon in a row that is happening at 0 degrees. I've been stressing the significance of this, that we are not starting a new chapter in our lives, but we're really starting a new book in the series. We have finally closed all the old stuff up, and we're starting at 0 degrees Aries, brand new energy, right? Take advantage of this. It's going to be at 10:23 a.m. for the Pacific time zone, 12:23 p.m. for Central Time, and 1:23 p.m. for the Eastern Time. And I just love that because I'm on Eastern Time right now. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening on 3-2-1-2-3 at 1-2-3. It feels like a countdown for us to really blast off into the new astrological year and to really get going on this energy. Now, Aries. What is Aries? Aries is a cardinal fire sign. Cardinal means it's leading the way. It's starting something new. Fire, passionate. It's very passionate. It's filled with action and energy. All right. This fire sign is represented by the ram, and it's associated with the first house of self. It's the I am. Aries is the I am. The mask that you wear, your first house is the mask that you wear, how you present yourself to the world, and how the world sees you, your public image. Where you have Aries in your personal chart is going to tell you more about the area of life you will personally experience a fresh start in. I'm going to have all that information for you up over in Phased by the Moon if you want to go check that out, and I'll have the link in the description so you can join us there. Because like if this is your seventh house of relationships, for example, you're going to have a fresh start in your relationships. If it's your 10th house of career, you're having a fresh start in your career, legacy, the mark that you leave on this world. If it's your 11th house of friendships, you're having a fresh start in that area of your life. Friendships, social circles, and even your long-term aspirations. So where this lands, where you have Aries in your chart, changes where you have a fresh energy and a fresh start in your life. And of course, you always want to look at your rising sign first, but also consider your sun and moon sign, especially if you have heavier energy. If you have a stellium of energy somewhere, along with like your sun sign or your moon sign, that gives a little bit more emphasis on that energy playing out in your life. Now, Aries as a sign is ruled by Mars. This is our planet of action, passion, sex, anger, courage, strength, movement. It's your drive. Remember, Mars, Aries, this is the god of war, and it is also the child of the Zodiac. So keep this in mind as you're moving through Aries season and this Aries new moon as well. This is the astrological start of the year, and Aries season is represented in tarot by the Fool's Journey. It is the Fool card. It's bold and naive. Due to lack of experience, you are starting out on a new journey. You're not fully experienced in the things that you're creating, right? It's the beginning of a new 12-month cycle. we're setting out on this journey around the wheel of the year. So keep that in mind. Our fresh starts in life require us to take a leap of faith into the unknown. They really, really do. If you knew everything that was before you, you probably wouldn't go on the journey. You would probably hold back. At other times, though, if you knew what was waiting for you, you would rush forward and you wouldn't hold back at all, right? So in this moment, as you're preparing to take a leap of faith into the unknown, trust that the unknown is safe, not because the future is secured by way of a promised successful outcome, but because you are securely held within the unknown outcomes by a known universal support system that always has your back. Y'all, the universe always has your back. It really, really does. So, it's such a lesson that I've had to learn over the last few months as I've taken all these leaps of faith into the unknown is that I can trust that I am safe in the unknown because I know I am held by the universe, right? So trust that as you step out into this new astrological year, into your brave new adventures, that you are supported by the universe. Watch out at this time for being overly impulsive. Aries energy is very impulsive. I have two Aries sun children, and then I have an Aries moon child as well. But my Aries sun boys, they like to touch everything. They're very impulsive. They're all over the place, erratic, butt heads a lot, things like that, right? This is Aries energy. And so keep that in mind as you move through Aries season and especially under the new moon energy. So let's talk about the energies that are at play under this new moon. We are going to have 5 planets in Aries. So that's a stellium. We have a stellium of energy sitting in Aries, meaning there's a lot of energy here. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of drive, perhaps a lot of frustration, anger, tension, all of that energy at play as well. So keep that in mind. We've got a lot of planets supporting us to take action, but let's look at the different ones. So we have Chiron here, which is actually an asteroid, not a planet, and is our wounded healer. Chiron is where we heal others through our wounds. We bring healing about in the world through our own personal wounds. So Chiron is at play. Chiron's in Aries. It's been here for a while. It's going to be here for a few more years, bringing healing to the self, healing to the I am, and healing to your personal house of Aries. Jupiter is here as well. Jupiter's been in Aries for a while too. And what does Jupiter do? It expands everything it touches. It brings about good fortune. And it is the guru as far as planets go. So opening up, expanding the energy. Jupiter brings about the ability for excessiveness, overindulgence, right? It's a big, boisterous, fun energy, but it can bring about excessiveness as well. So add that in to the mix. Just keep these things in mind. We're taking all of these elements and putting them in one pot called the new moon energy, right? We're adding Mercury in here. Mercury is in Aries right now. And so our communication and information exchange can be bold and impulsive. It can have some aggression mixed into it. It can be passionate communication as well, though. Remember, whenever we have access to these energies, we have access to the full range, meaning the lower vibrational expressions of it and the higher vibrational expressions. So you can act in passionate ways just as easily as you can act in angry, aggressive ways. And really that's going to come down to where you are on your personal journey, how mature you are and how mature you handle yourself. So as you're out there communicating and exchanging information, keep this in mind, right? The sun and the moon are also going to be in Aries. The sun brings us our awareness. It's the seen, it's the known, and it is our ego body, where the moon is our emotional body. It's the unseen and the hidden and the subconscious parts of us. And all of these things, so our hidden, unseen, subconscious, emotional body, along with awareness in our ego body and that which we can see is going to be sitting here with our communication, our expansion, and our healing. Now, we also need to consider that Mars is going to be active at this new moon. Why is Mars active? Because Mars rules Aries. This is an Mars ruled new moon because Mars rules Aries and because it's an Aries new moon. Plain and simple. So Mars is in Gemini right now, and it's been there for 7 long months. We've been feeling this energy. The mental anxiety started as soon as Mars moved into Gemini back in August of last year. Things went internal back in October of last year when Mars went retrograde. We started dealing with internal stuff, and that lasted through January. Then Mars went direct in Gemini. And now I am deeply personally looking forward to Mars moving into Cancer. This is going to happen on March 25th. So it's happening in a few days that this energy is going to shift. But at the time of the new moon, Mars is in Gemini and it squares the moon in Aries. What is a square? Squares create tension. Squares compel us to take action because of the tension, because it's tense aspect. But tension is also sexy and passionate, right? So keep that in mind. You are going to be compelled to take action right now. And because Mars is in Gemini, Gemini is about communication. We have Mercury in Aries about communication. Our communication right now is going to be very important. Keep this in mind as you are talking to people. Keep this in mind as you're sharing your ideas. Be passionate and bold, but be mindful of how you're talking to people. If you're speaking out of anger or frustration, check yourself. It's very important. You are still responsible for how you behave no matter what is going on in the astrological sky. As Katie the fairy would say, astrology is correlation, not causation, and we don't get to blame the planetary alignments for how we show up and act. We have to hold ourselves accountable for how we behave no matter what is going on energetically around us. It lends clues and it helps us know how to operate, but we are still responsible for how we show up. So make sure you're speaking, clear communication, and you're being kind. It's always, always, always a great time to practice the pause before you respond, before you react. Pause. How do I want to react? What do I want to say? Is this said in love? Am I speaking in love? Am I showing up in loving and kind ways, right? So this, squares bring tension. Words may be volatile at this time and filled with emotions. It can look very much like passionate expression in the highest forms, though. So keep this in mind. Now, when Mars moves into Cancer on the 25th, Cancer is a little bit more of a sensitive sign, so we can have some more sensitivity come into play over the course of this week. But it can also be very nurturing and healing as well. So whatever comes about right now, there could be more healing to come in the rest of the week as it plays out. A great question to ask yourself is, how will you move into action in ways that support your dreams at this time? How are you going to cultivate passion and create something? What seeds are you planting at this point in your life? Where are you noticing the energy of frustration or anger in your life? And how are you going to use that to get passionate about life and use that as the driving force to fuel and create your dreams? Right? That's a really great question. Pluto is also going to be at play, and it's moving into Aquarius on March 23rd, just 2 days after this new moon. So Pluto is closely related to this new moon energy. It's going into the mix with it, with everything that we're putting into this big new moon soup here. Pluto is definitely going to be a part of that. Pluto's influence is going to be more heavily felt, and what we begin right now is going to play out for decades to come. Why? Because Pluto stays in a sign for decades, all right? March 23rd through June 11th, Pluto will be in Aquarius for a little taste test of what that fuller transit is going to bring to us. Pluto will retrograde back into Capricorn for the remainder of 2023 after June 11th. It does this every year. It goes 6 months into another sign. Or it retrogrades, I should say. It retrogrades every year for 6 months. When we're switching signs, they tend to retrograde back and finish up a few things. But then it's going to go back into Aquarius January 20th, 2024, and it will stay there for about 30 years. So when I say what we're doing right now is going to affect the next decades of our life, I really do mean that. Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for 30 years. It's been in Capricorn for 20 years at this point. So your house of Aquarius is going to be transformed. And by the way, this is the house that Saturn just left. So you should have cleaned this house up a lot since 2020 in preparation for this transit and this transformation that you're going to experience. Pluto co-rules Scorpio with Mars, and it brings about death and destruction. So Mars rules Aries, but Mars also rules Scorpio alongside Pluto. So we kind of have a little bit of that flare going on right now if you think about that energy. Pluto is death and destruction of the old in order for there to be rebirth into a more empowered state of being. It is transformation at its highest level. So it's time to take your power back wherever you have Aquarius in your chart. And it's a very slow moving planet. It's going to go through Aquarius, like I said, for 30 years. This is going to move through this part of your life and really transform it. It's a collective planet, so it's going to transform society as well, bringing about innovation to the community, technological changes, medical advancements, and all of those things, because that is an Aquarius thing. Pluto is also over things like feng shui, just for example. So understanding feng shui is energy work. It's understanding energy in our environment. It's understanding how a photo placed in a particular area of your room represents energetically a certain area of your life. And this stuff really does make a difference. I started playing around with feng shui a little bit about a year or so before I moved. And when I moved, a painting from one particular wall, I moved it onto my career and future wall. It was a painting of the ocean, y'all. It was a painting of water. And then I went and within a few months, went to the ocean, right? Like it does really make a difference. Energy is energy, and feng shui is it's a beautiful thing to consider studying. I'll just put it that way. You might see more of that come out with Pluto being in Aquarius. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Let's refocus on the Aries new moon. It is happening at 0 degrees, and it is followed by a second Aries new moon eclipse on April 19th that is going to be falling at 29 degrees Aries for that one. Now, do you see that's a really big deal? We're starting out with a new moon at the beginning degree of Aries, and we are going to end with an eclipse, a new moon eclipse in the same sign at 29 degrees. This is the beginning and the ending degrees. So this new moon right here is going to end up having a twist of fated events that shows up for us at the next new moon. It's important to note we usually don't set intentions under eclipse moon cycles. This is not an eclipse moon, so set your intentions under this one, right? Under the eclipse moon cycles, we open ourselves up to receive instead. So make sure you're setting your intentions now. By the time we reach the next new moon, you're going to be surrendering to fated and destined moments. Eclipses realign us to our destiny, to our paths that we are supposed to be on, to our highest possible timelines. So whatever we create right now, expect that next new moon to really set us up in new ways. It also feels like whatever you do during Aries season will truly determine where things shift for you at that next new moon. Whatever work you actually put into bringing these things to life is going to be important. So, what do you want to accomplish over the next 12-month cycle? What seeds are you going to plant? How are you going to channel your energy into passion in order to reach your dreams and goals? This is your invitation to have an Akashic Records session, y'all. I am an Akashic Records facilitator. I specifically work with energy in the body, clearing and aligning it. And I'm always available for sessions, whether it's to help you reach your dreams and goals, or activate certain energies within you, or clear out the old, right? I love doing that. One of the most cost-effective ways to work with me if you're not ready to have a one-on-one session is Akashic Alignments. That is a membership that I have. It's $49 a month. We do 2 group alignments and then 2 personal opportunities that you have each month to ask questions of your Akashic Records or have a personal alignment, energy work, that sort of thing. We're actually having our personal opportunity on Wednesday of this week. I'm like, what day is that? The 22nd. We'll be doing our personal alignment, and those are always a lot of fun. I'll have the links down below if you're interested in that. And it is one of my most favorite spaces to work in right now because the messages that come through are powerful and beautiful, and I love being able to serve everyone in that space in this way with this beautiful gift of translating energy in the Akashic Records. What else do I want to say about this? Guys, to live well under this energy at play, be mindful, practice the pause, definitely channel any anger, tension, frustration into moving into passionate action. Don't be so impulsive that you end up hurting yourself, that you don't cut off your nose to spite your face kind of thing, right? Like, take a moment, get your stuff in order, and really move into action based on passion, not anger, right? Hope that makes sense. Y'all have a happy Aries season, happy new moon, and happy astrological new year. Y'all, happy spring. Oh my gosh, so much happiness there. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you around. May you be Santosha.